What are things racist people do that they don't think is racist? If we stop immigration of Latino people, who will clean the toilets? Paraphrased quote from Kelly Osborne trying to be woke, edit. I do think Kelly wasn't saying Latinos should only clean toilets. My problem is it seems like she's saying we should continue to let Latinos in so they can continue to clean our toilets, being underpaid. Do the jobs no one else will do because they don't have a choice. What she should have been aiming for, is to say why can't we be humanitarian and respect these hard-working people's right to a better life? Make legal immigration easier, provide education, training and support so they can become skilled and have better jobs? What if we provided more aid to the people currently living in their own countries so they don't need to flee? That's why it's racist. Because she's saying what's happening now is okay. We should not be condoning the status quo. Her reason for accepting immigrants equals because surely no white American will want to clean my toilet, and we need someone to do it. My daughter, who is Mexican, went over to her friend's house to have dinner with their family. They had your normal American dishes while the mother specially made her Mexican food. Trying to speak for and save black people like we're defenseless baby animals or something. Assuming any minority with nice things got them with government welfare, drug dealing, or all the money they save from not having to pay taxes, because they are illegal immigrants. Exclusion by inclusion. Example, I'm not racist, I like everyone, even black people. This is a long one. I had a coworker when I was a manager in a major retailer. We were running a project that required third-party hiring. Well, in this team was a group of 7 POC who rode together for work. Whenever I was around, they were hardworking, and quick to listen. But whenever I was at a different location or off for a few days, I would come back and this manager would brief me on how things went, and every time she would bring up how terrible and rude and lazy this group was, and when I would go out to the floor, they would greet me with things like "Thank you're back, we were about to quit." It went on like this until one day I was coming back, halfway through shift, drive time, and the group was leaving, clearly off. Said they couldn't stand her racist anymore. Apparently she accused them of being disrespectful and probably stealing like you people do. They ended up filing a case and reporting her. I was told I was gonna have to provide testimony, as the only other manager present. Right before I got on the call, she actually said, "You know I'm not racist. I have even dated a darkie." I was floored. I held nothing back in the testimony. Say I don't have a racist bone in my body, but thinking that saying "oh no I have a insert minority group here friend" gets them out of saying / doing racist. Compliments that go like, "You're so / compliment / for / your race / I am ashamed to say that in my youth I did and said a lot of the things mentioned in these comments. I wouldn't call it racist, but definitely super weird and uncomfortable when white people I just met need to regale me with tales of their racist families. Okay cool dude. I didn't want to know that your uncle thinks I'm a terrorist stealing jobs. Edit, spelling edit too, before I go to work. I don't have time to answer every singe comment yet, but I do appreciate the insights in the replies. Will respond when I get a chance. Much love, heavy black heart. Genocide is usually carried out by people who don't think they're doing anything wrong. Speaking for people of color, but getting at people of color for speaking for themselves. Refer to a black person as clean and groomed as if it's something rare and special. Every time a black person applied for a job at my old job, this old white lady who was involved in interviews would say he was clean and didn't have those dreads or something similar. Edit, I didn't expect to get so many replies, so here is some more context for the lady who used to sit in on the interviews. I never heard her refer to anyone white as clean or well groomed specifically. On multiple occasions after interviewing with a black candidate, she would say something like he could never be a technician in insert wealthier / primarily white neighborhood name. The company itself had multiple HR complaints by technicians against her and another manager for inappropriate and racially insensitive issues. One of the managers she was friends with outside of work was reported for using the N-word at work, and management tried to sweep it under the rug until they were forced to fire the manager for shoving a Hispanic technician on a job site in front of customers. The customers saw it out of their window and reported it to corporate, so there was no way around it and no sweeping it under the rug at that point. I left the job because working around people like this made me sick. Fetishize people by race and call it a compliment. Edit, attraction is not the same thing as fetishization. Describing a particular member of a minority group as one of the good ones. Where are you from? I'm from Texas. No, but like, where are you from? Texas. No, but like before that. Where were you born? Texas. Okay, but where are your parents from? Asterisk deep inhale Texas. I've had this exact conversation too many times. Just because someone isn't white, doesn't mean they aren't from the same country. Test the waters to see if you're racist too. Example, neighbor, did you meet the new people that moved in? Me, no, not yet. Neighbor, oh, you'll see them soon enough. The husband is black. Me, okay. Is that an issue? Neighbor, no, for me no, I don't see things that way. Always testing to see who thinks like they do so that they can have a buddy to talk to about racist things. Edit, to elaborate. I don't believe just saying that makes them inherently racist. It's the next part if you choose to entertain it that does. Instead of saying, is that an issue, try saying, oh really? That's when the person will indict themselves and start to amp up their thoughts. In my experience 95% of the time it will go something like this. Me, oh really? Neighbor, yep. In this neighborhood of all places. Can you believe it? I'm as white as they come. I grew up in a racially mixed environment, and today live in a mostly white, affluent suburb. So to me, those sorts of things really stand out. I'm a white dude that has lived in Japan for 16 years. A while back I went on a date with a Japanese girl and we went to a bar in central Tokyo. The bar wouldn't let me in because I wasn't Japanese. This has happened to me a million times since I've lived here, so I'm used to it and it doesn't upset me anymore. However, the girl got really upset. And after we were rejected from the bar she said, I don't know why they wouldn't let you in. You were with me. I'm Japanese. And I was thinking, you're kind of missing the point. Can you imagine if a white and black dude went to a bar together in the States and they don't let the black dude in and the white guy says, I can't believe they didn't let you in. You're with me. I'm white. I've even called the cops on a club once that had a sign, in Japanese, that said Japanese. Only the cops came and I complained, in Japanese, and the cops said in a super friendly tone. Well yet. The sign says Japanese only. And you're not Japanese. What is the problem here? There's another club down the street that allows foreigners. I like that one myself. Why don't you go check that one out? Japan is so inherently racist and xenophobic to the point that they don't even know that they are racist and xenophobic. It's just normal behavior to them. But for some reason everybody loves Japan and they somehow get a free pass on it. Oh, and full disclosure, I ended up marrying the girl that I went a date with from the first story above. Now we're racist to each other all the time. It's super fun. Trying to make things equal in a negative way. An example is a college school making segregated bathrooms for black people to have their own space. Say that they can't be racist because of their specific ethnicity. Newsflash, all walks of life can be racist. When they say you sound white. So only white people can talk properly? EDA. I mean proper English, US. Say, you know I voted for Obama 2 times. I don't care if you're orange, purple, green, or yellow with pink polka dots, is usually followed by something pretty grim. I'm a white American progressive, so I'm mostly familiar with the racist things white American progressives do. Also I have done some of these before myself, get super academic/intellectual about race and racism yet avoid engaging with the actual experiences of people of color, try to get every person of color in the office, school, etc. to be in promotional photos, bring up one's own disadvantaged identities anytime race is the topic, so that the conversation is now about sexism, homophobia, anything but racism. I'm more concerned about being seen as anti-racist than about doing anything to address racism. Invite people of color to be in your improv group/softball team/ska band/whatever, because you feel it would legitimize your group, not because the person of color has shown any interest in the activity. Widely advertise your openness to critique around race/racism. I welcome feedback at all times, but get very uncomfortable if anyone does give feedback that you were doing something racist. Be really into experiencing other cultures in ways that feel very safe and curated, e.g. restaurants, museum exhibits, guest speakers at white-dominated places, talk about race in a very historical way, emphasizing civil rights, slavery, etc. over modern topics, tacitly or explicitly, ask people of color in their lives to absolve them, or apologize for being white in a way that recenters themselves and makes it weird for everyone. Talk a lot about diversity and inclusion, but their most intimate connections, dating, very close friendships, are only with other white people, seeing promotion of diversity and justice as either a duty/obligation or a selfless act, rather than something that will better everyone's lives including theirs. Telling someone to go back to where they came from. Go back to your country. Where are you really from? Pressing the question of someone's ethnicity or country of origin when they clearly don't want to bring it up. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Edit. Links https://www.nbnews.com/news/amp/n10406866 https://cnn.com/cnn/2020/05/22/politics/bidden charlemagne DHAU ain't black/index.html https://youtube.b/jwa56 https://youtube.com/shorts/x7jp9vvmyy8 feature equals share https://youtube.b/b4g7gflgu. Upper middle class white liberals who always gotta speak for minorities as if we can't speak for ourselves. Think that they can't be racist if they are a person of color. I like how Mexicans are lazy slobs but somehow also taking all the jobs. This one irritates me to no end. These illegal immigrants take the jobs that no one wants. Yeah, that's because working without a permit in this country is very difficult and those jobs no one wants only exist because the employers want to pay bottom of the barrel wages, which is inhumane. Why do so many white people think they can eat food from anywhere, but that ethnic people only want to eat their own culture's food? Near everyone in the world is eating internationally now. I've had real nasty encounters with so many white saviors over the years and they are a totally different beast than your bog standard racist because they really believe that they're on a pedestal and couldn't possibly be doing anything wrong. It's so hard to explain to them that they're doing more harm than good because they genuinely just cannot fathom themselves being wrong. All whilst being super vicious and relentless. I remember posting in the Ask Brothers sub as I was worried about a friend of mine and quite a few comments pointed out that I was acting as if he was some sort of fragile element that needed protecting whilst he was just a person. Opened my eyes to a few things. Not gonna lie, where I'm from white people are a minority, so this generally didn't apply to race for me. I worked at a furniture store decades ago. Whenever a POC would come in and buy nice things, my boss would speculate as to whether they were a pro athlete or some kind of entertainer. Because of course there would be no other way for them to have money. Doesn't matter if someone is black, brown, blue, or normal, I'll treat them with respect. Yeah, only the least racist people say darkie. Sounds familiar? My old employer had a lot of POC, mostly Hispanics. They were awesome, I was friends with most of them, very hardworking and friendly. A coworker came in one day and is working side by side two Hispanic ladies. He is that some Mexican dude hit my car, and didn't have insurance. Do any of you people have insurance? He got written up for that. I was floored. She said the word darkie? But my body is 70% water and that is definitely racist. The best one is when my dad says, unironically, I can't be racist, I have a black son-in-law. Yeah, Dad, but you had no choice in that. And you hate the guy. Brief story time. It's always been a big deal to me to counteract my two boys' racist grandfather's teachings, so I shut any accidental racism down as soon as I heard it. They understood obvious racism and were just as disgusted by it as we were. But, as kids, they didn't fully understand some of the more subtle racist things their grandfather would say. When my youngest son was in elementary school, he heard someone on some TV show start a sentence that way and then get shut down for being racist. He came to me to ask why that was racist. I explained, he understood, and we moved on to other topics. I thought he had forgotten, until a few days later when he decided to troll me. Dad, I'm not racist, but... I was about to say something when he finished with, I think I like breakfast foods the best. The eating grin he had on his face was priceless. For a few weeks, whenever he wanted to troll me, he'd say something like, Dad, I'm not racist, but I think my bedtime needs to be later, or Dad, I'm not racist, but I need help with my homework. My racist foster mom was accused of racism by her Korean coworker. Her boss told the coworker her Korean foster daughter would disagree with you. Nah, actually I wouldn't. That racist. My coworker gets you pretty for a dark-skinned girl and her reaction is basically the racism is coming from inside the house. My ex-GF is a doctor. She would often get, wow, you're Mexican and a doctor? That's great. She would always reply, yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of us. She wasn't sure if that was worse than when patients requested a male doctor, or older doctor. Edit, whoa, this kinda blew up. I think a lot of interesting points came up about which gender doctor is preferred. I should have mentioned my ex is an ER doc. I don't think I would care what gender my doc is if I was wheeled in by paramedics after a car accident. And she was born in central Mexico to a well-off family of doctors, but moved to the States right before 7th grade, if I remember correctly.